फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I'm Saramya Kaushik. So we all are at a stage in IPL 2024 where we have to discuss what went wrong with a few teams. And it becomes a duty to talk about all these teams because on paper, a few teams looked really great at the start of the tournament. And even in a few matches, these teams did a really good job. But at this stage, when we are looking at the playoffs, when we're looking at a team like Royal Challengers Bengaluru, who've made a comeback like anything, it becomes our duty to talk about the teams who are well in the race for the playoffs, but something odd happened with them, something didn't click with them, and they are out of the race. And to discuss about all those teams today, I have with me Network 18 Group Sports Editor Keshu Nivas Rao, Sahil Malhotra, Jamie Alter, and Taus Trisby. Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you all here in this live session. I think in past days we've talked a lot about how RCB have made a comeback. We've talked a lot about Chennai Super Kings and the teams who are in the playoffs or are still in the race to make it to the top four. But now it becomes a duty to also talk about the teams who did well but fumbled here and there, and now they're out of the tournament. So to begin with, we have Gujarat Titans with us. Gujarat Titans, with new captain Shubman Gill, they performed good in a few matches. Shubman Gill also performed well in a couple of matches, but then something odd happened with this team. They couldn't win the matches where they could have managed a comfortable win. Now, Sahil, what's the reason? You spoke to Shubman Gill, the captain himself. What was the conversation about, and what do you think were the reasons for GT to not perform well this time in this season?
If I'm not wrong, I think they're the only team which have changed their playing 11 more often than not, because they've hardly played with the same playing 11, and that kind of echoes the fact that all was not right when it came to thinking and planning the playing 11, and that Hardik-sized hole probably was too difficult for them to fill because they just couldn't get that right balance. I think they took those brave calls with Shah Rukh Khan towards the middle half of the tournament. But other than that, I think it was not that typical GT which we have seen in the first two editions. And replacing Hardik Pandya was always going to be difficult for them. And they just couldn't get that balance with both bat and ball. And top of the order, Shubman Gill and Riddhiman Saha, they were those dependable openers, at least in the power play for them. Saha was giving them quick starts last season, but that just didn't happen this season. And he was injured. David Miller picked up an injury during the tournament. So all those things, just didn't result in a balanced playing 11 for them. And I think more than what they did on a given day, I think it was just about not getting that playing 11 right, which I feel just didn't work for them. Like not playing Abhinav Manohar, giving games to Vijay Shankar. I just can't wrap head around those decisions, especially after you had the kind of quality you had on the bench.
Okay, so Jamie, do you think it was Shubman Gill's lack of experience as a captain? Was that one of the reasons? And along with that, I also want to know from you, from the very start of the tournament, we said that Shami's absence might cost GT the chances to the playoffs. So do you think that those two reasons are the biggest reasons for GT's such kind of a performance in this tournament?
At the surface level, I'd have to say yes. Sai has already mentioned the gaping hole that Hardik Pandya's absence left. No point for me to follow up on what he said. And then Mohammad Shami. So when your inspirational captain goes, when your number one all-rounder goes, when your number one strike bowler goes, I think Shami had the purple cap back-to-back years when GT got to the final and won it, and then they ended up runners-up. So it just shows that maybe they were a 3-4 player team to begin with, and then two of them were not there. It has to be termed a failure of Shubman Gill. He barely crossed 400 runs, and by his awesome standards, that is a failure. And then you have Sai Sudarshan, who's got, I believe, 527 runs. That's just not enough. In 13 matches, you need at least 3 players getting 450 plus. I believe David Miller's got 210. Yes, Sahil mentioned he missed some matches, but 210 from your second most important pure batsman after Shubman Gill, That's just not good enough. And then only two bowlers, so Ramya, made it to double figures. I think Mohit Sharma has 13 and Rashid Khan has 10 wickets or something like that. I mean, that's a colossal failure. We're
Yeah.
not talking about Noor Ahmed, but we're talking about Rashid Khan, who's been playing the game for 15, 16 years, 10, 12 wickets. So it's a combination of like I said before the IPL started, the wrong decision to make their poster child the captain. The man literally has zero. Check the records. He has zero captaincy experience. It clearly affected Shubman Gill's batting. Last season, when he was doing wonderful things, there were still many, I call them pseudo fans saying, "अरे वो सिर्फ अहमदाबाद में run मारता है." बात सही है. इस बार तो अहमदाबाद में भी नहीं आए runs. So it's just you don't get into playoffs when you have literally 3 players out of 11 doing the job. Ashish Nehra, until this season, लोग तो उनकी वाह कर रहे थे. इसको कोच बनाओ टीम इंडिया का. कहाँ है Ashish Nehra? It just shows that it was not about Ashish Nehra. It was about everyone working. Hardik Pandya and Nehra. Nehra's still there. The cameras don't pan to him now. Why?
Yeah.
Because the team languished at 9 out of 10 for the majority. When you're down, the cameras do not follow you. When you're down, no one cares who you are. It just shows it was never about Nehra. It was never about Hardik Pandya. It was never about Gill. It was about everyone collectively doing the job. They paid some 11 crores for Spencer Johnson. Another BBL failure when it comes to the IPL. They just didn't have enough good players. That's what it is.
I think, Jamie, you have summed up pretty much everything about Gujarat Titans. And when you talked about the bowlers, even if I look at the top 20 bowlers in the purple cap holders list, there is no one. Mohit Sharma is on the 20th number with 13 wickets. And you mentioned it clearly, that how GT's bowling wasn't even at par when it comes to, the other teams, the way they were performing. So obviously, it was a failure on the bowling front. But Srini, we talk about Gujarat Titans, in a couple of live shows we have talked about that there are so many anchor batters over there, and in a few matches where Miller wasn't in the 11, so power hitters were also absent from the team. So do you think a lot of anchors stuffed in the 11 also costed GT this season?
Yeah, see, the primary thing is, I mean, you look at the number of runs that Shubman Gill put on board last season, vis-a-vis you look at the number of runs he's put on board this season. There is no rocket science. I agree with JB. Too much was being spoken about. Ashish Nehra, brain nahi hai wo. Like, I think it was too exaggerated. It was just that a young team had come together beautifully. Where are the Abhinav Manoj, Vijay Shankar? I mean, classic example. Last year when I was looking at Vijay Shankar, I was like, यार यही तो 3 dimension है जो मैं इतने टाइम से ढूंढ रहा था, जो मुझे लास्ट ईयर विजय शंकर में दिखा और जो इतने साल से नहीं दिख रहा था. So that I saw different sides to different people, and I thought Rashid Khan, in this new setup and this new franchise, and given the bigger leadership role that he had assumed, I thought Rashid was coming full bloom as an all-rounder. Like, you saw Rashid, the finisher. You saw glimpses of
Yeah.
how dangerous he can be with the bat. We saw it with Gujarat Titans. Obviously, Hardik size hole, as Sahil mentioned, that goes without saying. Bowling department, let's be very honest, they're missing their number 1 bowler. I mean, they don't have. I mean, and this kind of bowler like Shami, it's not just his own 4 overs that matter. His presence in the 11 from as a bowling captain, that also kind of adds all the more impetus. And then you have those young boys, the Abhinav Manohars of the world, like, who kind of were listless this season. So I guess the answer conveys itself, in terms of where Gujarat lost the plot. And I really wouldn't take anything away from Gujarat. First 3 years in the tournament, winning the title the first time, coming to final the second time, not finding their way the third time, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. And they need to do mistakes. Else, there is no other way for them to learn. The only way to learn is to commit mistakes. That's it. So I'm not going to be worrying too much if I was a Vikram Solanki. And by the way, let's also take it for granted that, like, Gujarat Titans has a very good, very sorted backroom machinery in place. the kind of people that they have put in place, very soft spoken, very nice, very lovely people, and I'm sure they'll think of better things very soon.
No, before Tausbhai speaks, very quickly I wanted to talk about very rarely people do talk and criticize Rashid Khan because he's that global T20 superstar. But if you look at his numbers this year, in last 10
Yeah.
outings for Gujarat Titans, only once he has picked 2 wickets in a game. Otherwise, all
Yeah.
have been एक विकेट और 3 गेम तो विकेटलेस गया है. एक मैच में 50 के ऊपर मार पड़ा है. So Rashid, again hasn't been kicking with the ball, and his partnership with Noor Ahmed, which gave them the results which were there to be seen last year, I think that has been missing too. So as a whole, the group hasn't clicked, and I still can't wrap my head कि भाई साई किशोर क्यों नहीं खेला सारे मैच. He should have played 1 to 14 all games, and not bowling 18th 19th over कोटला के अंदर जब लेफ्टी बैटिंग कर रहा हो और ट्रिस्टन स्टब्स खेल रहा हो.
Right.
Yeah, but I think
I
it
think
started
Sahil, we
from
discussed that point in one of our live shows, and I seriously remember.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
Taus,
think
please
it
continue.
started from the auction thing, from the trading part. Right? They were a happy side first 2 years. They were enjoying their cricket. Results were coming out, and then everything was going on in their way. From Shami doing extraordinary well. Mohit Sharma also came good last year. I mean, he was. He's 30, 32, 34. So he's still. I mean, he wasn't younger. He was doing well. Dhoni was impressed. So everything was coming good. Ashish Nehra. I mean, whatever Srini Bhai said, Jamie Bhai said, or they were enjoying their cricket. But suddenly trade happened, and then like inexperienced Shubman Gill started. I mean, he was asked to take the responsibility. No experience of IPL captaincy experience. Suddenly, you don't know what to do. You don't have your proper your leader out there to take those decisions, big decisions. Then David Miller on and off. Rashid Khan. I mean, you were expecting Rashid Khan to be there. Rashid Khan, if there is no Hardik Pandya, if
Yeah.
there is no Shami, you have a guy, somebody who's been a superstar, somebody who's done it before with the bat, with the ball, Rashid Khan, and then he goes off color. I mean, Vijay Shankar, I did not have much expectation. Nobody had. He was still better. Then this season, what happened? I mean, nothing was working. Nothing was working, whether with the bat or ball. And I agree with Srini Bhai when he says that this is a learning experience. You had a great first 2 years, great years. Debut में आप title जीतते हो, then runner up, and suddenly you're nowhere. So I think it's a learning experience for Shubman Gill more than Gujarat. Gujarat to seeking, but Shubman Gill, the captain, he will learn where he has to work on on his
Yep.
leadership, the gaps that he has to fill in. Good for him that he's come down straight after back-to-back great performances down the dumps. He will learn from here and then he'll go ahead. I think सीखने मिलता है यार फेलियर से. फेलियर नहीं होगा तो आप आगे नहीं बढ़ोगे.
That's right, Taus. Because it is the first season for Shubman Gill as captain of Gujarat Titans. And obviously, nobody wants to see such kind of a result. But at the end of the day, you have to accept it and you have to move on. And for Gujarat Titans and for their captain, Shubman Gill, it's a learning experience and they'll move forward and come back stronger in the next edition. Well, as we were just talking about captain, so let's begin with the captain of the other team, Jamie, and that's Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan, if I have to put it, very casually, I think he missed almost half of this tournament, and in all
I
the
was
matches
going
that
to
he
say
started, it was a disappointing run only.
I couldn't even tell you whether I saw him the whole season. 23 वाले शिखर धवन के बारे में बात कर लूंगा.
No
इस साल
memory.
मुझे honestly याद नहीं
No
है.
memory.
Zero
Ah.
memory.
Zero memory.
Just him in the dugout with that smile he always gives. I honestly I don't remember when he last played. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's blame Sam Curran
Actually, if
instead.
you look at well, yeah, but actually, let's put the blame on all the players except two of them. One's Shashank, the other one's Ashutosh. Because if I have to sum up Punjab Kings' whole tournament, I think apart from these two, nobody performed. These were the two players who came up to the scene every time, stood tall, took the match to the end overs, but at the end went back with the disappointing result. That was the case with Punjab Kings in almost all the matches, Jamie. Now, where do you see the loophole? Do you see the loophole in the international cricketers? Because over there also you have Sam Curran, you have Liam Livingston, you have Sikandar Raza and others, and nobody performed well apart from these two uncapped players.
Yeah, I mean It's
roughly.
easy to talk about them because they're just big names. Johnny Bairstow, I mean, for the longest time, Johnny Bairstow wasn't doing anything. Finally, he got that 100. Us ek 100 ke alawa, I mean, again, yes, you've had a terrible like last 6-8 months, but you're still Johnny Bairstow. You've come with the reputation. I think one innings of note in 13 matches just not good enough. Liam Livingston is threatening to become the next Glenn Maxwell. Rabada,
Yeah.
since he left Delhi Capitals, has just not had an impactful season with Punjab. Harshal Patel had the purple cap, I think, twice. But again, goes for runs. Harpreet Brar has been decent. The numbers don't back him. उसके आगे है कौन इनके पास? You know, I mean, Prabh Simran saying, okay, a couple cameos. But I think the fact that you've got an IPL 100, if not the fans, I think you yourself would be wanting to go out and do more, right? ठीक है, आप बोल सकते हैं यार वो ऐसी है सी बॉल हिट बॉल, लेकिन सी बॉल हिट बॉल वाले प्लेयर्स बहुत आ चुके हैं, you know. So it's just a case of nothing really going right. I don't see Shikhar Dhawan going anywhere after the auction. Sam Curran will go somewhere, but I don't think he should be paid the kind of money he gets paid. He's opened, he's batted 3, he's batted 4, he's been expensive.
Yeah.
Arshdeep Singh has wickets, but I think we can all agree it's not the kind of Arshdeep any of us want to see going to the T20 World Cup. I mean, I can go on and on, but the fact is 17 seasons, 2 playoff appearances. इनके पानी में कुछ खराब है.
पानी में कुछ खराब है. Okay. Sahil, what do you have to say? पानी में कुछ खराब है कि कहाँ चीजें खराब चल रही है पंजाब की?
I think 16-17 seasons we have seen them change the jersey, we have seen them change the name, we have seen them change coaches, we have seen them change captains, squads, but there are just a couple of things which have remained the same, and those are the owners. So probably it's time to kind of press the reset button there. Or क्या problem हो सकता है? I think I won't be that harsh on them this season because I feel they have been very unlucky. They lost at least 4 games in the last over. And had they won those games, not that they deserve to kind of stay in the top 4 race, but had they won those games, it could have been a different story for Punjab Kings. And primarily because a couple of Indian players, unheard Indian players, doing well for them. Shashank, as you mentioned, Ashutosh with those cameos, but more than Ashutosh, I think it has been Shashank's consistency which has impressed me. Ashutosh, yes, here and there, aake impact knock khel gaya. But disaster has been Prabh Simran Singh, yaar. So much money has been spent on you last season. He played all games, scored 350 runs, जिसमें से एक 100 था. वो 100 हटाओ, 13 गेम में 250 रन थे. इस साल 12 गेम में सिर्फ 250 रन है. आपका इम्पैक्ट नहीं चाहिए भाई. आपका 150 का स्ट्राइक रेट नहीं चाहिए. If you're playing 12 games, you can't be scoring 250 runs when you're batting in the top order. So I think those things haven't just worked for them, and the Indian players just haven't looked fit for this stage. You know, Prabh Simran Singh हो गया. फिर आप बाकी ऑप्शंस की तरफ तो जा ही नहीं रहे. You tried Taide, I think they tried Taide, they tried Harpreet Singh, if I'm pronouncing his name right. They tried him also, and the biggest disappointment has been Jitesh, probably something which costed him the World Cup spot too, because he was a revelation for them in the last couple of seasons, doing what he did in lower down the order. But this season he has been all at sea. यार मतलब बहुत खराब लग रहा है उसका ऐसा फॉर्म देख के, because he was very close to cementing his place in India's T20 side. Last अगर आप वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाली T20 सीरीज फिर अफगानिस्तान आप देखो उसका ट्रेंड कैसे डिटेरिएट हुआ, and it just hasn't improved for them. So all these things haven't just worked for them. I wouldn't be that harsh on their bowling. Yes, I know Rabada and Arshdeep haven't been that penetrating. बहुत मार पड़ा है, but Harpreet Brar, Rahul Chahar, I think I've been mighty impressed by them. They bowl with a big heart, and they're not worried to take the big boys on. And the biggest disappointment, Mr. Sam Curran, if you are listening, you just can't bench Harpreet Brar when you are playing against RCB. He has picked Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers in one match. He has picked Virat Kohli, Faf du Plessis, Glenn Maxwell in the same match. And you benched him when you were playing RCB in Dharamshala. So I don't know who's taking those calls, but you clearly need to back Harpreet Brar. He's a gun bowler. वो Indian team का भी part रह चुका है as a net bowler. And I really like the heart with which he bowls. बहुत lion-hearted bowler है.
Yeah, well, if you have to actually sum up Punjab Kings tournament, it'll be, fair enough to say for all of us that it was a collective failure. And apart from the 2 names, that we have spoken about in this live, I can't recall of any other name who performed well. Obviously, Sahil mentioned Harpreet Brar's name, but in a few matches, he didn't get the chance. The chances that he got, they didn't make the headlines that much as the two of them made, Shashank and Ashutosh. That was, you spoke about Shashank and, Ashutosh quite a lot in all our previous live shows. And you said that, these two are the batters who truly deserve to be retained if Punjab Kings really need to retain a few players. Because apart from these two players, over the years, you have seen that none of the batters and the bowlers have performed for this team.
Absolutely, and this is the. I mean, together Shashank may have played a lot. Ashutosh Sharma, it was his debut season. Overall, I mean, it was due to the lack of experience that they could not finish the game. Experience, I अब आपको जब प्रोफेशनल लेवल पे एक्सपीरियंस हो जाता है ओवर द इयर्स इफ यू कीप ऑन प्लेइंग यू अंडरस्टैंड start understanding how to finish the game. These guys were taking the games closer. I mean, 4 game close आ गए और उसमें से एक जीता है. So these guys are obviously, and it's not just Punjab alone. यार, Punjab won't. It will be other teams who will be vying for these two guys. They come in a package, and it's a great package for them. आई थिंक फॉर पंजाब इट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द टॉप यार. इट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द ओनर्स. वहां पर पैशन होना है, वहां पर गेम का नॉलेज होना है जो लैक कर रहे हैं. आप सपोर्ट स्टाफ अपॉइंट करके नहीं होता है वहां पर. एग्जैक्टली इफ यू हैव द नॉलेज यू विल पुट ऑन द थिंकिंग हेड, हैविंग अपॉइंट राइट men out there, selectors, talent scouts, managers, coaches, and then followed by the players in the auction. तो वहां से शुरुआत नहीं हो रही. वो एक पिरामिड होता है. वो मुझे लगता है वो फॉर्म नहीं हो पा रहा है पंजाब में. तो आप खाली इन दोनों की बात करके अलग कुछ फायदा नहीं है अनलेस सिर्फ ये दो रिटेन करेंगे एंड बाकी आपका कोर क्या रहेगा. So they don't have the core. I mean, what happened to Shikhar Dhawan? I mean, one of the reasons why Punjab couldn't be successful this season because of Shikhar Dhawan's lack of form and is in unavailability. Overall, they did not have a core. अब वो कोर नहीं होगा जैसे बाकी टीम ने. आई कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट द कोर, हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इज इट फ्रॉम चेन्नई टू मुंबई टू एवरी अदर टीम which have been successful. Here Punjab has always been lacking that particular bunch of players that they could have succeeded. बाकी चारों तरफ Ashutosh and Shashank, they can play the role, but they don't have the core. One of the reasons why they have failed in this season and over the period of time that they have been unsuccessful. For these two guys, I think Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma, this IPL has opened up, number of opportunities. A lot of teams would be interested in them. Well, I don't know if how Punjab is going to go about it. Good that they would retain him, but I think they are not that big superstars right now. With experience, with matches, with seasons, they will get experience. They'll become more precious. Right now, I think Punjab should look at the core, look at the people that they want to retain, or go for those big guys in the auction.
Okay. Srini, you differ with the Taos?
No, not differ with anyone. You know, if I were to be looking at Punjab, I mean, I've known these guys for like a very long time now. I wouldn't be blaming the players at all. बेचारे उनकी कोई गलती नहीं है. वो मतलब वो उनको सर न पैर उनको ऑक्शन में उठाया जाता है. वो मतलब ले आया जाता है. उनके पास कोई डायरेक्शन उनको दिया नहीं जाता. कोई बिग पिक्चर उनको दिया नहीं जाता. I as somebody who's kind of documented this space for a while, dealt very closely with these franchises and all. I have serious complaints with a franchise like Punjab Kings, and I would never flinch saying this to a Ness or a Mohit Burman or a Preeti Zinta. You the way you have gone about managing your franchise, it doesn't give me the hope that you've really put in an effort to kind of make cricket grow at grassroots, or kind of think through how you wanted to go, as a club. At the end of the day, this whole the club mentality that we talk about. You look at a successful franchise, or when we talk about success, obviously, Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, Kolkata Knight Riders, in that order. How there has been so much method to whatever little things they've done, which has resulted in success over a period of time. I mean, with Chennai, obviously we know, like, it's like the kind of the unity that they've had as a franchise, and losses or wins or good times or bad times or horrible times, they stuck together as a unit under one leader, never disintegrated. followed the leader to the hilt, kind of, and the team owner has never interfered in the cricketing side of things. It's always been the captain's call. Dressing room has had his it's sanctimonious space, like kind of, look at Mumbai Indians again. They always like to refer to MI as family. I mean, this year has been a massive exception. And the only other time when MI struggled was 2008 and 2009, the first 2 years, when again they were trying to find feet, and so was everybody, most others, but अगर आप ये दो फेज निकाल दें, पहले के 2 साल
Yeah.
this year, MI has more or less been able to cement the idea of what it truly kind of called itself as a family. In fact, before the previous mega auction, when they had to let go of players, they were so unhappy that they had built this team from scratch, and they had really put in a lot of effort, and they were not happy to see their players, kind of go away. It's not all the time that you can buy a successful team at the auctions, which again it shows in today's MI squad, where they have continued to struggle with a quality spinner, right? But what have Punjab done since 2008? When I look back at 16 years of IPL, you've time and again had a great opportunity to go to the same auction where every other team has gone, buy from the same available set of players where every other team has got bought. Where exactly have you lagged?
Mm.
you know and then again, I would like to ask, like, what kind of talent scouting has happened in the Punjab ecosystem? What kind of talent have I seen from North India or around? There used to be this lovely concept of what catchment areas in IPL, which has just disappeared. It's a very sad disappearance. But the point is, where has Punjab come from? I'm talking about pre-pandemic, somewhere around 2018-19. Somebody had, Punjab Kings had commissioned an agency to kind of try and find out, what was wrong with their ecosystem. So they were supposed to call people, talk to people in the industry, and come back, right? So the guys knew me, so they called me. Srini said, "Can we start with you?" I said, just give away the franchise. It's not a cup of tea. I don't have anything else to say, because for whatever 12, 13 years, I have not seen you do anything, from an ecosystem standpoint. You are earning no small money, because the broadcast rights have gone up from whatever 8,000 crore to 18,000 crore to 48,000 crore. That money which is coming to you, 200, 300 crores net profit every year, how are you using that money? How much of that are you giving back to the game? It's your money. Nobody's taking anything away from you. But where is that money going in the larger interest of the game? These are interests, these are things which need to be asked from time to time.
Mm. Absolutely, Srini, because obviously, when a team doesn't win even a single IPL title, or for that matter, any single season of any tournament, it becomes very important for all of us to raise, important questions. Now, we have a few comments around Punjab Kings, and because we are going team after team, so would request that we take questions simultaneously that are related to the team. First one's from Ravi Shankar. Punjab Kings' performance is worse because their owners don't know how to manage an IPL team. Their owners should learn how to manage an IPL team. I think Ravi Shankar, Srini has given an answer to it. Srini explained, what's the problem, where the problem lies, and how the team can improve their chances at the auction table. Perhaps that can happen, the coming mega auctions. Anything related to? Okay, yes, we have another one from Ravi Shankar. Sam Curran deserves that money he gets in IPL auction because he's a four-dimensional player. His captaincy is much better than Dhawan's. He should be the captain of Punjab Kings from the next season. Jamie, 18.50 crores. Is that money justified for Sam Curran?
Not at all. If you're getting 18 crores, you need to be scoring 450 runs, and you must be taking 25 wickets. I don't know what four-dimensional means. I hear three-dimensional and I start to feel sick. Yeah, Ravi Shankar's upped the game and gone to four-dimensional. Sam Curran has been an insipid captain. It clearly shows that Ravi Shankar hasn't watched enough IPL cricket. Sam Curran has batted at four, batted at three. He's opened himself. Right. What what are you doing? You're not an opener. You're not. I have given the example of David Willey three, four times. I think Soumya was there one time, and Kanav. David Willey
Yeah,
opens the
yeah,
batting in
yes.
T20s for Northants. That's a blonde, white, pale, left-handed English all-rounder who can open. Sam Curran doesn't do it. If Sam Curran understood captaincy, I mean, Sahil mentioned, what moronic person is Sam Curran to drop the most successful spinner against RCB, right? So when you make these kind of blunders, when you don't know how to lead a team, 18.5 crores, you said, abject failure, and I don't even see him being retained next year around. Like who makes Sam Curran a leader? This just Srini is so right. 17 साल से ये franchise, और मैंने भी कहा था एक show पे, I think it was kind of, you were also there because kind of has a certain allegiance towards Punjab, and I said, you guys should get together and tell Preeti Zinta and Mohit Burman to just sell the franchise, right? And आज भी साहिल ने कहा था, jersey बदले हैं, नाम बदले. What person in that setup saw a leadership role in Sam Curran? Does Sam Curran lead any club back in England? No. Just because you paid 18.5 crores, that doesn't mean you're going to make him a captain. So abject failure, as far as I'm concerned.
Sam Curran, I believe Sam Curran can be operated. He cannot operate. Like how Dhoni used Sam Curran in Chennai Super Kings.
Correct.
The bowler, the hitter,
perfect.
Can be operated. He cannot be a leader because he's got the skills, but he doesn't know how to use them. So that is the problem with Sam Curran. Otherwise, decent player, not worth 18 crores, 10-12 crore चल जाता है या 5 crore भी चल जाता है.
बिल्कुल.
Okay. Yes, I think Ravi Shankar, you must have heard all our panelists, and I think आपको answer मिल गया.
He'll come back with a few statements. We know it's Ravi Shankar. He'll come back.
Okay, but for now, let's move to the next team. And next one is Delhi Capitals. Sahil, if I go by the stats, Delhi Capitals, after Jake Fraser-McGurk's debut, won 6 of their 8 matches, where 4 50s were scored by Jake Fraser-McGurk, which means that Fraser-McGurk's inclusion definitely changed something in the team. Do you think that he changed the fortunes for Delhi Capitals, which eventually at the end didn't work out for them because, it was a bit too late for him also to come into the IPL scene. But do you think, apart from Jake Fraser-McGurk and Rishabh Pant, any positives to take from DC's IPL 2024?
No, I think what really worked for them just doesn't goes to this season. It goes back to 2023 when the likes of who was there in the backroom setup, I'm forgetting the name, one of the Australian only. They were like cribbing left, right, and center about the pitches they get at the Kotla. Slow, sluggish, we want better tracks, we want faster tracks. So what really worked for them is the relayed square. What really worked for them is the pitches where the ball came on nicely onto the bat, and they kind of thoroughly enjoyed playing in these conditions. And we have rarely seen Delhi dominate home conditions, and this season was a rare occasion for me to see them dominate as good as they did at home this season. 200 मारते थे, 200 खाते भी थे, पर मैच जीतते थे. अब उसमें JFM का पूरा रोल था, but before we kind of praise JFM, I think we must give credit to JL. Yesterday, what he did with Jake Fraser-McGurk, that trap, वो मैं जैसी टीम शीट देखी, मैं कहा 2 खुब्बे लेके आया है. खुब्बे for the masses is a left arm bowler, which we call generally corporate slang में. 2 खुब्बे, Arshad Khan, Mohsin Khan, long on was back on the fence, the ball coming in, telling JFM, playing with his ego, मार सामने, मारा, out किया. So, hats off Justin Langer, because clearly you thought that out. But yes, JFM has been a big revelation for them. I think still a work in progress because, Abhi, this was his first season, and with the kind of evidence and video footages which teams have, by next season he'll be figured out. So just don't I don't think these days will last very long. So he needs to continue to evolve because teams will figure him out. वो पकड़ लेंगे उसको कि कैसे पकड़ना है. It's not difficult to catch hold of a player like JFM these days. But what you mentioned about the positives in the Delhi camp, I think the biggest positive to me has been the way Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav have bowled in tandem. I think this was unforgiving venue. यार दिल्ली के अंदर मतलब वहाँ बॉल डालना और SRH वाला गेम मेरे को याद आता है. The way SRH got off to that start, and after that Kuldeep, even after going for runs which he did, Akshar kept it very tight from one end. Kuldeep went for runs, went for as many 6 sixes in his first 2 overs, still managed to pick 2 wickets, 40-50 रन देके. So it shows how much they've grown out, कितने जिगरे और दिलेरी से बॉल डाल रहे हैं. क्योंकि आप इन दोनों को हटा दो, बॉलिंग अटैक ठीक है, इक्का दुक्का गेम में आपको रसीक दिखा, ईशान दिखा, मुकेश दिखा, बट कभी भी आपको ऐसा थ्रेटनिंग फीलिंग नहीं आया. खलील तो मैं अभी भी कहता हूँ पता नहीं कहाँ से हुआ बना दिया किसने कि उसको वर्ल्ड कप स्क्वाड के अंदर डाल दिया. मे बी बिकॉज ही ट्रबल्ड आवर इंडियन कैप्टन ऑन अ कपल ऑफ ओकेजन्स ड्यूरिंग देयर गेम, IPL का DC और MM वाले गेम में. But other than that, I think DC's bowling unit was far from perfect. They were very, very dependent on Anrik Nokia, and the moment he just couldn't find his rhythm, it was going to be a downhill slide for them. And whatever we are seeing, whether it's Stubbs, whether it's JFM, whether it's Rishabh, I think all that has been a bonus. But the big disappointment to me, more than the positive, has been the bowling unit.
Okay, so you think that the bowling unit wasn't up to the mark in this IPL 2024? Shrini, what do you think? So far in this season, or when it was about Delhi Capitals, we heard a lot about Rishabh Pant's captaincy, his wicket keeping, his batting, and then obviously JFM, Tristan Stubbs also to some extent. But do you agree with what Sahil said? The bowling unit that didn't click for them. Also, there were a few matches where Kuldeep Yadav couldn't bowl. Apart from that, he was also in the headlines for his bowling and all of that. So where do you see, or what is that thing that you saw in Delhi Capitals where you felt that, this team might not go to the top four?
Okay, I'll begin this with a bit of honesty first. Before the start of the season, I had no hopes from Delhi Capitals. Okay, for me, in this order of 10 teams, the way I was looking at it, Delhi Capital was going to be my 10th team, right? Not Mumbai Indians or not Punjab. It was Delhi, and I will give you my reason why. Look at the top three names. From a batting perspective, if you would look at, I'm not even Tristan. I'm not even counting Tristan. David Warner, Prithvi Shaw, whatever extent one could have expected anything from him, and Rishabh Pant. Okay, these were the three names I was looking at for different reasons. For different reasons, I was looking at. I was worried about, and for different reasons. David Warner, because coming into the IPL, I know what happened behind the scenes at Delhi, and a lot happened, in the ILT20. People were not happy with David's form, how he kind of managed things there for Delhi Capitals. Things were not, somebody, part of that ecosystem, in fact, happened to mention to me that, this guy looks like he just wants to retire peacefully and just interested in signing commercials. That's what he's doing. So that was happening. Prithvi, I know, was not going anywhere. The fact that he managed to come back and play this season in itself is a wonder. But if you remember the start of the season, Saurav Ganguly made a statement where he said, I have no idea where Prithvi is, something on those lines. That leaves me with Rishabh. And as much as it is extremely heartwarming to kind of see Rishabh make a comeback. Start of the tournament, I thought, are they rushing that boy, for a headline? Then he actually being ready. And let's all admit, I remember having these conversations even with Sahil, where I was like, yaar, ye ladka sahi hai, khel jayega season. So what I saw of him on the field, I was like, I was very happy to see Rishabh make the kind of comeback. But this is what I had in mind, the start of the season. So I wasn't really expecting anything from Delhi. Now, bowling has been, people say it's been good. I'm saying bowling has been a saving grace. Bowling has actually not put them in the 11th spot. It has kept them within the 10th. I would look at it that way. It has saved them some blushes whatsoever. But this team was never going to go anywhere. Again, the same problem that I had mentioned in the case of Punjab Kings, but not so bad from an ownership standpoint, because here we have some very dedicated owners. We saw it in that game against Rajasthan Royals when Sanju Samson's third umpire dismissal happened, and the Delhi Capitals co-owner from that stands was behaving like he was out there on the field. He looked so involved, so passionate. And let's be honest, not very long ago in 2020 and 2021 editions of the IPL, this very Delhi Capitals team had looked so unbeatable. under Shreyas Iyer's captaincy. You know, they played the final
Yeah.
in 2020. So they have
Yeah.
given us a glimpse of the rights that they can do. But again, they lost track after they had to let go of players ahead of the mega auction, and again they lost their way. And as I said, I mean, then I go back to square one. There was nothing to once again expect. I mean, before the start of the tournament. So, well, I mean, that's that. They will have to go rebuild this entire squad. Again, I'm saying, with the sole exception of Rishabh Pant, they will have to go back to the drawing board and see how they can begin this whole exercise once again. With a scratch. That's it. I mean, yeah. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav. Sorry, I mean that's
Yeah.
another name I would like to kind of mention. But other than that, you have to rebuild.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. You'll have to think of, how you can build a better team, or for that matter, how you can help enhance the playing combination and all, so that you can, move to the playoffs in the coming seasons. Now we have a question from, okay, not a question, it's a comment from Priyanshu. DC should retain Rishabh, Aksar, Kuldeep, Stubbs, Fraser. So I've put five names out there if that's possible. Jamie, if a team can retain five players, if that's the case, or for that matter, even if four, who all would you like to see in DC in the terms of retained players?
If it's five, I really don't see any other five worth being retained, right? Stubbs has proven that he can play spin very well. If you're playing half your matches at the Kotla, you need a power hitter. He's probably been the best finisher this IPL across batting first and batting second. He's got a remarkable strike rate of 170 odd while finishing. Kuldeep is Kuldeep. Akshar for that role is very good. Fits him a Gurk. It took them what? I mean, Ricky Ponting's his fan. It still took him 2-3 games to figure out how to use. But just very briefly, I think we're looking at DC the wrong
Yeah.
way. Just like Srini said, they're at number 5. They have overachieved this IPL. So I'm not even remotely calling them. I'm not putting them in the Gujarat Titans and the Punjab category. I'm on the same page as Srini. Number 5 right now. That is a massive achievement. So I think it's been a very good season for DC.
Okay. Well, I think Srini has some work. So thank you so much, Srini, for joining with us
Thanks.
and sharing your inputs around all the teams who've been made to the top four. It was great talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue our discussion around Delhi Capitals, and sports fans think JFM and Stubbs both deserve to be retained for DC over Warner and Marsh. Taus?
All for it, all for it. I mean, I don't know what Warner have done. He's getting older. Marsh, I'm very, very disappointed with him. Yeah, he's a class all rounder. Yeah, I was looking up to him as the next Shane Watson coming from Australia, but he has failed miserably. See, IPL is not something you're looking at the future when it comes to foreign players. Foreign players, they have to come here and perform immediately from ball one. I'm not waiting here for a youngster, Indian youngster. It's not like an Indian youngster where you have to nurture them, make them like a future superstar and all. वो सब नहीं है. When you buy David Warner's, Mitchell Marsh, and other guys, big guys for worth crores, including Sam Curran, you have to perform. That's it. If you haven't performed, if you haven't been consistent, just get out of the team. Let the other guys, people who have done well enough, retain them and just play them. I'm impressed with these two guys, yeah. What a player, man. Jake
I
Freezer.
think we also have to mention. I'm speaking personally because Sahil bhi tha us show pe. When I mentioned yaar ye Abhishek Purell aapka depth nahi hai. That guy has been the Indian success story for Delhi Capitals for me. A player who I had written off.
Yeah.
I didn't see him doing the job. कल का मैच देख लो. Like Sahil mentioned, Justin Langer ने बोल के उसको out किया. They still had their best power play because they found someone who's 2021.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, and I think Praveen Amare also mentioned this कि आप लोग शॉ क्यों बोलते हो? शॉ को मौके मिले, नहीं किया. Abhishek Purell is their second highest scorer this season, or at least second highest Indian scorer. with a very healthy strike rate, that is a massive plus. So I would also add his name to the list because it took guts. It took guts to say, Abhishek Patel, तुम Warner की जगह opening करोगे, CS numbers. You know me, I go on numbers. अब number में luck है, statti है, वो सब I don't care. I look at sheer numbers. On the basis of numbers, it has been an outstanding season for someone I personally didn't have any hopes from, and that's Abhishek Patel.
Now, because you mentioned Amre, Jamie bhai.
He's in the top 4 highest run scorers, Jamie.
Yeah, so Ramek, go ahead. I think lag hai kuch kya network ka. Can you hear me, Jamie bhai?
Yes.
Yeah, there is some lag. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so I asked this question to Praveen Amre specifically yesterday. जो आप पृथ्वी शॉ वाला statement सुबह से देख रहे हो ना, moving around,
right.
So, and I'll just add to my 2 cents to it what I was thinking. I think the biggest positive, I missed his name, has been Abhishek Patel, because if you look at the retentions which they've made in the last 2-3 seasons, आप देखो इन लोग ने ललित यादव, यश धुल, पृथ्वी शॉ को इतना बैक करा है. And no player has actually elevated like Abhishek Patel did from last season. What he looked last season, ठीक है, नीट कीपर था, फिनिश प्रोडक्ट कीपिंग में लग रहा था, बट बैटिंग में ही लुक्ड ऑल एट सी. But I think his batting elevation has been a big plus, and this is something which players like Prithvi Shaw, Lalit Yadav, they clearly need to learn from. यार, you just can't be sitting and cooling your heels in the IPL. बिप पहन के पानी पिला लो ईशान भैया को. अरे भैया, उससे क्रिकेट नहीं होगा, थोड़ा लेवल अप करना पड़ेगा लाइफ के अंदर. और ये अभिषेक पोरेल ने दिखाया. एंड मुझे लग रहा था जिस तरीके से इन्होंने कुमार कुशाग्र के लिए बिड किया था, I thought Abhishek Patel will be on the bench because they invested so much in Kumar Kushagra. But just look at how the management kind of backed Porel, and I think we must give credit where it's due. So, superb.
Yep.
Superb, and like we were just talking about, the players. I just want to say one thing, Jamie talked about the top 4 run scorers. So it's Rishabh Pant, Tristan Starks, JSM, and then Abhishek Patel. So all these are the positives for Delhi Capitals this season. Now let's move to a team, that played DC the other day, and that was Lucknow Super Giants. So if we talk about Lucknow Super Giants, there were few matches they played very well. Mayank Yadav was one who became the sensation, right? Can you hear me, Taos?
No, there is some disturbance. Are you talking about Lucknow Super?
Can't hear you.
Yeah. I mean, what to say? Lucknow Super Giants could have been one of the most balanced side I found it for them to be. But unfortunately, they haven't been, the consistency that they were supposed to carry on. They haven't been consistent, and there have been loopholes. There have been loopholes right out there, starting from a strike rate of KL Rahul. I mean, and then some partnerships that are needed on the top order. QDK. It starts from the top, right? QDK, the opening partner, KL Rahul. They should have started. Then Marcus Stoinis, another guy who could have continued, he could have been consistent. He showed his potential in between. Then you had some decent bowlers who could have Krunal Pandya. He has massive experience. So it's more of the combination that they were lacking. The leadership of KL Rahul, he could have finished the game many a times. He could have led by example. That did not work. That went against LSG, and one of the reasons they did not. They had a very good talented batting lineup. They had massive potential in them, but none of them could be converted into performance. The consistent performances that I'm saying about. So that could be one of the reasons that LSG failed. But then again, it's a learning period for them. LSG did well initially, runner-up. The last year they did well. This season, okay, they ऊपर नीचे आगे पीछे, and then the controversy which we saw with things happening all around. So good season, learning again, a learning experience for KL Rahul, but I don't know where he's going to be next year. Whether he's going to be released and then bid by some other team, and people are talking about RCB should take him. I don't know how it will happen, but but for me, like, they had the site, but they didn't deliver.
That's right. Jamie, if we talk about Lucknow Super Giants only, Taos touched upon, how KL Rahul played. So KL Rahul and Nicholas Puran are the two batters with the highest run scorers for Lucknow Super Giants. They are the only ones who crossed 400 runs in this season. Now, Marcus Stoinis, obviously, he pulled off a terrific innings against Chennai Super Kings, and that was one of the matches that Lucknow Super Giants won. But apart from that, there wasn't a collective performance from Lucknow Super Giants. And if I have to sum up their IPL 2024, I would say it was a decent season. There were chances for Lucknow Super Giants to win some important matches, to win some close matches, but things didn't work out for them. So would you put LSG also in that pool of teams where there was collective failure, or will you put Lucknow Super Giants as a team where two, three players out of form, or the form that didn't work for them costed them the whole season?
Collective failure. Remember, before the IPL, I had them in my top four because on paper, this team had no business finishing at number 7. They're a much better team than where it showed up. But again, I have to blame KL Rahul. Justin Langer has just come on board. KL Rahul has been there for 2 years. He understands Indian players. He understands what to do. He's just not picking. Devdutt Padikkal averaged 6 at a strike rate of 75, and he got 6 matches. As Sahil at club level, after 2 innings, he would have been dropped. Ayush Badoni ke saath, they didn't figure out where to bat him. Quinton de Kock, he's played 11 out of 13 matches. By his high standards, the numbers don't add up. Why didn't you? And don't tell me there's coaches and all. No, it is KL Rahul and KL Rahul. That is why Sanjeev Goenka went after KL Rahul. Why didn't you give a chance to Kyle Mayers? Matt Henry कोई फालतू bowler नहीं है. You gave him 2 matches. Arshin Kulkarni, 1 match खिला दिया. Justin Langer has just come on board. He's not going to understand the system, or the team. KL Rahul, I said this 1,000 times. KL Rahul will always get runs. He'll always be in the top 5. His franchise won't win a blooming thing because they put the leadership role on the wrong guy. Statements were released, stories were planned. I don't know what it is. एक कह रहा opening करेगा और mid order में खेलेगा नहीं खेला. The moment he was dropped from the World Cup squad, come Quinton, you keep wickets now. Get that man away from any leadership role in a T20 franchise. If RCB seriously are taking him, 30, 45 years more of heartbreak for that team. KL Rahul is a fantastic player, don't get me wrong. Whatever fool gives them a leadership role, that person has to lose their job. And Sahil is very right.
Yes, noted, Jamie. I think those those were the reasons for Lucknow Super Giants' failures. Okay, we have a couple of questions, so we'll quickly take those questions and then wrap it up. So, can we have the question? Yeah, this one's for Sahil. Oh, very interesting question for Sahil. RCB और CSK में से किसको जिता रहे हो, Sahil?
I will put on Jamie Alter's hat today because he's a numbers guy, stats, data. May 18th, RCB have never lost to CSK. So I hope the trend continues. मैं भी ट्विटर पे कहीं पढ़ा. मतलब मैं तो चाहूंगा दोनों टीम रहे मैं तो टॉप 4 में चाहूंगा दोनों टीम रहे, बट ठीक है देखते हैं.
अच्छा चलिए, निमिष जुनेजा कह रहे हैं, will 18 number gonna chase the target in 18th over on 18th? जेमी, अब तो आई थिंक आपका आना बनता है. अब इतना 18 कर दिया है, प्लीज ब्रिंग सम स्टैट्स ना. 18 पे क्या आरसीबी फिनिश कर रही है टॉप 4 में?
देखो, मैं ऑलरेडी, Skanav was there, you were there, मैंने कहा था पहली बार, and Skanav, he wasn't wearing a hat, but he would have taken off that metaphoric hat when I said for this match RCB are the favorites. But look, rain is there और MS Dhoni नाम का बंदा है. You think Dhoni is not aware of all this? Watch the toss suddenly go in Chennai's favor and watch them say तुमसे तो हम chase नहीं कराएंगे, because it's CSK for a reason. Yes, they're very, very half cooked, half baked this time. For this match, on form, on numbers, on performance, who's won 6 in a row? Nobody but RCB. With momentum, they're definitely favorites, but unse na ho payega. It's CSK all the way.
My heart says RCB.
Okay, which means Thala for a reason.
Yeah, my heart says RCB for I don't know why this time.
Okay, before taking this one, Ujjwal's question around Prithvi Shaw, I would like to, pin towards the comments. And while Jamie was saying, one is from Ujjwal, he's saying 18, which means 8 minus 1 is equal to 7 Thala for a reason. Same as Priyansh. Anshu also saying the same. Seventh thala for a reason. Well, we'll have to see on 18th of May whether it'll work. This whole calculation will work or not. And with that, let's take the last question that came up around Prithvi Shaw, and we'll put it to Sahil, and then we'll wrap it up. Sahil, please go ahead.
No, I think this Tausbhai has to speak. I'm done speaking
Yeah.
on Prithvi Shaw, his fitness, his form. This has to
Same.
be. ये मैदान का लड़का मैदान का राजा ही बताएगा. मैं तो नहीं जा रहा ताउसभाई इस रास्ते हो. मैं तो इरिटेट हो गया हूँ ये एक्सप्लेन कर करके.
नहीं नहीं मुझे पता
Okay,
ही
so
नहीं.
let's put it
मुझे
to
पता ही नहीं.
Taus, and then we'll come up with another question.
See, I don't know the reason. See, या तो वो बहुत ही ज्यादा एरोगेंट है, या उसको कोई और आके बोल रहा है भाई तू टैलेंटेड है, तू इतना टैलेंटेड है कि तुझे जरूरत ही नहीं कुछ अपने प्रोसेस फॉलो करने की, हार्ड वर्क करने की या कुछ ऐसा. सो देयर इज नो वन टू शो हिम द मिरर दैट इज नीडेड राइट नाउ. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. दैट इज व्हाट आई फील राइट नाउ, बिकॉज look at his fitness, look at he's a massive talent. I still feel, I mean, कोई भी अभी ऑक्शन में डालोगे ले लेगा कोई ना कोई, 1 करोड़ में लेगा मगर लेगा, because he's got the potential. But at the end it boils down to the fitness. Yeah, can you deliver that to fitness? Can you deliver the performances? Can you convert them at that level? IPL is an international level. Yeah, so Prithvi Shaw, I think he himself has to realize. Yeah, that's it. पीरियड यार, वहां पर कोई समझा, क्योंकि वो पीरियड जो समझाने का होता है ना, इट्स गॉन. वो कौन बैठ के, यू हैड सौरभ गांगुली, यू हैड रिकी पॉन्टिंग, उनसे बड़ा कोई समझा सकता है? एनीबडी? आई डोंट नो. इज देयर एनीबडी बिगर देन देम टू टेल शो व्हाट ही इज राइट नाउ, व्हाट इज ही डूइंग, व्हाट ही नीड्स टू डू? या अगर उन्होंने बताया नहीं तो यार किसका लॉस है यार? डीसी को कंप्लेन करना चाहिए. रिकी पॉन्टिंग और सौरभ गांगुली हैव बीन टोल्ड हिम कि व्हाट शॉ नीड्स टू डू. तो अगर वो नहीं कर सकते तो बाकी कौन क्या करेगा यार? He himself has to realize.
True that. Absolutely. Okay, one last quick question to Sahil, and that's that. A foreign coach loading for India. No India name seems suitable. Well, I would like to reserve this question for another day, for another topic. But Sahil, if you're willing to answer this one, it's all your
No,
call.
we can answer because abhi to every day you will find a suitable candidate who had an informal discussion with BCCI. I'm surprised no one has mentioned Mahela Javardhane's name yet. क्योंकि उसका नाम तो सबसे पहले करना था ना. See, boss, we need to understand and kind of need to understand the fact that all these foreign coaches which we are mentioning right now, they're doing a very, very, very good job with their IPL franchises where they are in complete control. It's a 2-month gig. They are paid handsomely. इनको नहीं चाहिए ये कचरा यार. क्यों आएगा कोई यहाँ इंडियन टीम का कोच बन के 10 महीने के लिए? You're not getting paid enough, and it's the most thankless job in the world. मतलब yes, it's a good addition to your CV, बट आप इमेजिन करो इस टाइम पे स्टीफन फ्लेमिंग, रिकी पॉन्टिंग, महिला जयवर्धने, इनको अपना सीवी बूस्ट करना है या 2 महीने काम करके अपना 10 महीने चिल वाला लाइफ चाहिए वेयर दे कैन डू थिंग्स व्हिच दे वांट. दैट्स हाउ आई लुक एट इट. दैट्स माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन. आई एम नॉट फेड बाय एनीवन. दिस इज जस्ट हाउ आई एम लुकिंग एट द करंट कोच सिचुएशन. That's what I think, यार. मतलब और हाँ, इंडियन नेम सूटेबल नहीं होगा because all this while VVS Lakshman was considered that ideal replacement, just how Rahul replaced Ravi Shastri. वो NCA वाला progression सोच रहे थे हम, but now even VVS Lakshman ने अपना बैंगलोर बेस बना दिया है, घर वर सेटअप हो गया है, नया NCA सेटअप हो रहा है. He's also happy and at peace at doing. Again, you don't want needless discord in your life. Controversy जिंदगी में क्यों लाना है? सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है. Stephen Fleming can enjoy his Coca-Cola after every win and address 88, 90 press conferences in 2 months. He'll be more than happy doing that. यहाँ क्यों आना है? Well, that's how I look at it. But 27th, I think, is the deadline. 27th तक I think 12 दिन में 120 recommendation और आएंगे. अभी इसके अंदर आपको कोई former Zimbabwe cricketer, आपको former Afghanistan cricketer, इन लोग के भी नाम informal discussions में आएंगे. Because that's the beauty of those discussions, right? They are informal. So keep reading, keep sharing, keep enjoying. But again, that's a very valid observation that there's no ideal Indian name there. And that should concern the men who matter in the BCCI. क्योंकि नहीं है कोई वैसा नाम, तजुर्बे वाला, रुतबे वाला, औहदे वाला. और सहवाग के साथ जो आपने पिछली बार किया था, मुझे तो नहीं लगता अब वो अप्लाई करने वाला है. So वो तो गया.
Okay. Okay. Priyanshu, thank you so much for your comment. Well, that's that for today. We'll Well, we'll do have a chat around this as well in coming days when we'll have a bit of a clearer picture. But for now, thank you so much, Sahil, Jamie, and Taos for joining with me. And thank you so much, everyone, for sending in all your questions and comments.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।